wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milan. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more. We are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Buzzballs, ready to drink cocktails. #1 single serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. And have a ball is right. How about a Pitt Panther ball and shove it right down their throat? That's right. The Pitt Panthers came in, Milan Puskar Stadium. You all know the drill. You all know what happened. Controversy, losing your starting quarterback, having a backup quarterback come in, go ahead and manage the game, run that ball, force your will. Force the will of the offense, offensive line, the offensive running backs, the offensive tight ends, and even the wide receivers. Man, we got a show for you today. Let's not forget that defense. Let's not forget special teams, because when you watched it, you saw that this game, although, as Neil Brown said in his post game, it wasn't pretty, but it was beautiful because it was a beatdown, an absolute beatdown of Pat Narduzzi, the Pitt Panthers. They showed nada. All right? It was beautiful. It wasn't ugly. It was, you know what? I'm going to take this and we're going to shove it down your throat from offense to defense for the Mountaineers. And then from defense to offense for the Mountaineers, we're going to shove it back up yours, right? And then on special teams, we're going to make some great plays. We're going to hit field goals. We're going to hit some punts inside the 5, huh? We're going to do some special things. We're going to make some tackles. We're going to get better as a group physicality-wise, and we're better than you. We have more talent than you. We have more physical toughness than you. Yep, that is correct. And all that's going to be revealed today on the panel and for the videos that I have and the film breakdown that I have as well. Now, I did advertise that Dale Sparks was going to be here today for advertising for Friday night's event. He will be here tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow we'll get that with Dale Sparks. Not today. Conflict that came in, but let's get this panel going today and see what's happening. I see it right here, man. Well, let's go. Let's just put this up first here. All right. Yvette, WV smacked that Pitt AZZ. Yes, that's right. There you go. How about you, Kelly McCourt? Yes, great win for the Mountaineers. Now on to beat the Red Raiders. That's right. You got Yvette's guys. Oh, she's already fired up. Love the game. Very good. Joey Foster, Let's go, Mountaineers, and smash that like button. Yeah, you know what I mean? That like button. You got to hit it, man. You got to like it, right? Already. And with that being said here, let's start off with the panel. Get them up here. And I guess I'm going to have to go with old first for age-wise. I'm just kidding. It's not Lee Javins, all right? But no, we're going to start off with the man of respect, historical, authoritarian, author, the band of brothers then and now, 66 through 70, who had just a huge weekend. What's up, Frank Fear? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Wolf. Good to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you, man. I appreciate it. We're going to keep on going here before we talk about that fantastic week you just had. But I'm going to bring in the Hawkeye, man. And it's Keith Hawkins, and he just got done probably officiating somewhere, so his eye's going to be on the ball. What's up, Keith?
What's up, guys? How is everybody today?
Everybody's good, I think. I think everybody's fired up from a Pitt Panther beatdown. We talk about the well. I'll tell you who's in the well there, Coach Nealon. It wasn't the Mountaineer. It was the Panther in the well, and he just kept getting beat and beat down, man. Did you see that coffee pass right there? That was pretty good. All right, good job there. And now let's go ahead and bring in another Mountaineer, former player, 74 to 78, David Duck Riley. Well, what's up?
How you doing? How's everyone?
Everyone is good, man. We're really good watching your grandson, Sean Martin, out there and just going ahead. And he was actually doing the beating down. I'm bragging about it, but he had to do it. Right? I mean, so that's the difference there. But we're so glad to have you again back on board. And last but not least, I said about age and beauty and all that junk, but he was a linebacker, believe it or not, back in the day here for the Mountaineers. What's up, Lee Javins?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Okay.
Good to see you guys.
Well, that's fantastic. Hey, you know what? Let's start off with you, Frank, and let's get at this, what you had this past week. You had a big signing day Thursday up in Moundsville, big signing day in Morgantown on Friday at Barnes & Nobles. You know, your book, Band of Brothers Then and Now, is absolutely fantastic. It's on the sports column, your website, where you publish people that want to publish articles. How was your event, brother?
Well, we had a ball, and I'll tell you what. As you mentioned, we were in Moundsville on Thursday, and I really have to thank Dave Voigthofer at the co-op there, the Chamber of Commerce, and the staff, Ruby, Beth, Linda, Stacy. I'm missing names, I know. But they worked for months to put this together. It really was a panhandle celebration, and had about 150 people for dinner, probably about 200 people altogether. But as many people told me, yeah, football's great, but the hot dogs were free. So was the ice cream. And we had 2 radio stations there, a live band. They had TV coverage. Boy, they really know how to do it. And it was just an unforgettable experience. We had about 12 to 15 former Mountaineers from 66 to 70 there. More wanted to come, but they couldn't get there for one reason or another. It was just terrific.
I just got one question for you. Why wasn't I invited? I mean, you're looking at 2 radio stations. You're looking for the dude, man. What's up with that?
Well, yeah, you're always invited to everything. There's no question about that. Morgantown was a different story. Sky at Barnes & Noble always does us right. He invited us back. He thought there'll be a lot of people coming into the store the day before the game. He said, don't do it on Saturday. You don't have a book signing on Saturday. But we did it Friday night. Very few people in the store. Sold a few books, but we still had a great time with fellow Mountaineer players. They were there to sign for the people who did come in. But it was a pretty light night, and we bid the store adieu before closing time. But again, not casting aspersions about Barnes & Noble. They do a great job there.
All righty then. Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. People right now, go ahead and QR that, man, the sports column. Get your book there. You can buy it. It's a great book. And Band of Brothers 66 through 70. People are already scanning it now. So that's a good sign. Very good. All right. Well, let's move on to you. Hey, Duck, what's happening, man? How you feeling after watching your grandson there do some beating up on some Pitt Panthers? What I said in the beginning, was that wrong?
No, 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 no. It's always great. No matter who's beating up on the Pitt Panthers, it's always great. Uh, I'm just fortunate for him to be my grandson, so we'll take it.
Yeah, what did you think when you watched it? A defense that, golly, you know, 8 of 20 for Jerkovic, the quarterback. They didn't get WVU outrushed them. You know, it was 210 to 206 yards. Obviously, you do 206 yards to a Power 5 Division I football offense. That's their starter, even. Okay, they're the starter. That's some good stuff cooking.
Oh yeah, I was a little nervous at first because Pitt took the ball and marched right down the field on the very first series, but seemed like they made some adjustments to shut down that running game. That's the first time I've really seen the quarterback, and he really he didn't have a good game, and they were putting a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, they sure were. And I will tell you this, man. I looked at it and I saw that pressure coming at times. When they go that 4-man rush, they do well, don't they? They do well. And because that way it frees up your grandson. I'm not just saying this, but they can't double team him on the back end. So it puts them 1-on-1 situations. Obviously, that helps him out, but it helps out the Mountaineers' chances of reaching that quarterback, at least putting the pressure on him.
Correct. Oh, without a doubt. I'm like you, Wolf. I like the 4-man front more so than having the 3 down linemen. And you're right. It makes it very difficult to double team when you have 4 down linemen.
Well, that's the truth. And you know what? Here's the deal. If you can reach the quarterback and cause pressure like they did last year against Oklahoma State, when they did cause pressure, then I like the 3-man rush. Let's be honest here, all right? If you can get away with it with 3, and I'm all for it, but I don't see it too often. Hawkeye, what do you think when you see that?
I definitely like the 4-man front. We get more pressure that way. That kid didn't have time to breathe Saturday night. They pressured him all night long. For a 6-year senior, though, he definitely didn't look comfortable.
Well, I tell you what, I haven't. I don't know if it was the defense. I don't know if it was the crowd. I don't know if it's Duck's grandson didn't wear any deodorant. I don't know what it was. I'll tell you what, Javins Jerkovic, and you're a linebacker. He was not steady. He was not comfortable from play number 1.
Yeah, he looked like he was over his skis, or he just looked lost. And it's interesting because it's almost like once you play football and you're on your 6th year, you haven't made your. It almost feels like players regress a little bit, and I'm not sure our guy JT Daniels has improved any either over the years. If you recall, he started out like a ball of fire. And maybe the takeaway is if you're starting a 6-year senior who's kind of been a journeyman, maybe there's a reason. He just didn't look like he looked like a deer in the headlights. Is what it looked like.
Well, that happens when you got big people in front of you and issues and penetration through the gaps. But let's take this back all the way to the beginning, Frank, and talk about this game. It was a long day for tailgating for Mountaineers, long day for the players waiting for this game to eventually get here and kick off. It's not easy, but what was your thoughts watching the game, watching the atmosphere? What did you think?
Well, this was Kathy Fear and I were there, and it was the first game we attended. I had to go back and look at history. Last time we were at Mountaineer Field, it was the old Mountaineer Field, and it was in 1971. Can you believe that? Against VMI. I think it was the second to the last game of the season. And we haven't been to a WVU game live since because I was at Michigan State and she was in Michigan and Iowa before that. I was very impressed with everything about it. In fact, I would go so far to say that it was just a fantastic environment, done with class. We enjoyed interacting with fans. They were great, and they didn't get rattled. They stuck with it, and I enjoyed it. And as for the game, I'll put it in a nutshell. I didn't think Pitt, especially after looking at the stats, which reinforced my eyeballs, didn't play very well against Cincinnati. And lo and behold, Cincinnati loses to Miami of Ohio on Saturday. But seeing Pitt in person and having seen and experienced Narduzzi at Michigan State, I just shook my head. That was not the kind of Pitt team that I expected. West Virginia took full advantage, and it was a great night because even when they were ahead 3-0, you just knew that West Virginia was going to come back.
You know, Lee, I got caught up in emotion. This is the first game I've been to that I didn't have to work. I didn't have to go pregame, halftime, postgame. All right, I had a good time hanging out with the country girls, the Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration company that you see their name on the stadium. You see them all over the place. What great loyal Mountaineers. You know, you got Bobby, Tommy, and Josh. You got Bob Sr. in there. I just want to say thank you to them right off the bat for letting me hang out. It was sunny out. I had a tent. I had the tent there over me, so I was all happy in my way of old age. And I'm going to tell you this though, but watching the blue line, watching everything build up, Mountaineers have been waiting a long time to have that feeling again. That felt like the old days, man. The old days in the parking lot. It was even before the game. People were ready to go.
Let me tell you what my favorite part was, and the team was fired up. You know, and let's go back to last week's call. If you recall, I said I want to see a little more nastiness in the trenches, and it's like they look nasty. They look really nasty. And the thing that made me most happy, and that's where I think everyone knows this is really going to be a special night, but this is the first time I recall in the last 5 years we were inside the 5-yard line. We had the ball in the 5. I think it was the third quarter, maybe the fourth. And what do? We call 2 straight running plays. I don't know that we've ever done that before because we've tried to get cute inside runs where we're going to run this down your throat. And to me, that's attitude, and that's a mindset. And I love that mindset. I'd like to see us, I hope we can keep working with that mindset because in the past we'll throw a pass to the corner of the end zone or do this or do that. And sometimes you just got to take somebody's will. And I think they did that. And that's what pleased me so much is we just put it to them. And, it's high time we did that.
An old saying goes, Hawkeye, if you don't have to do a lot to beat someone and then what you're doing is working, why change course, right? If you could go ahead and go 12 personnel and pull both tight ends in a counter and you're killing them with it, why not? Why stop it until they stop you?
That's right. If it's not broke, why fix it? And we imposed our will on them on both sides of the ball all night. Our O-line blocked well up front. CJ ran really well, I thought. And like Lee said, you get down around the goal line, that's what separates the men from the boys. And if you're punching it in, it deflates a defense, especially those guys up front. It just deflates them.
Yeah, not only does it deflate them, Duck, as man, it just saps your will right out of you. And when they say, we're going to run the ball because you were a running back, man. And, when we're going to run the ball down your throat and there's nothing you can do it, as Hawkeye says, there's nothing more deflating. Nothing.
Yeah, and everybody makes some valid points. My thing with it is I'm kind of old school, even when I was coaching up in Jersey. I still miss the quarterback getting up under the center, especially down on the goal line. Just let them know we're coming.
Well, you're right. And don't even go old school with me about short yardage situation. I've been complaining about that since Dana Holgerson. All right, when Dana would go ahead and be 4th and 3 inches and he's there in the shotgun, right? Just there. And we've already done it ourselves with Neil. Neil is not a stranger. He's gotten better, I think. I think the first play of the game, was he not underneath center there, Garrett Green, right? Am I right or am I wrong on that first play? I believe I'm right.
Yes, I think you're right.
I didn't see it too much, though. I saw, we did see Nico drop a ball in exchange. I think he's got to make sure he gets that, but that could have just been nerves. So before we go ahead and we start breaking this down, let me ask you this. When you saw that crowd, whether you're in person or on TV, I've never seen the students hang at a game, the entire game, I say in 10 years. I mean, I could be wrong on the year, but it seems like forever. It seems like more people are interested in doing the tailgating and the team. This game was a focal point. It was a focal point. The crowd was in it. The students were there, and I give them all the credit in the world because nobody really left. And it reminded me of the old days, Frank, and I know you haven't been there a long time, but I know you can tell about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my background is after WVU, it was mostly Big Ten. I've been to Notre Dame, been to the Big House, Michigan, a whole bunch of Big Ten stadiums. And if Kathy Fear and I were talking about this, the atmosphere, the ambiance, everything about that game on Saturday was matched or exceeded those stadiums. It was just electric. But there was one thing missing, and I'll tell you, we really appreciated it. There wasn't the kind of edge that you tend to get at a lot of stadiums. It was very respectful, very easy game to watch. There wasn't any acting out in the stadium, at least in the section we were in, and it was just a joy to be there, just a pleasure, an honor to be there, to be part of something that was truly special.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, so Lee, we got Garrett Green. Looks like it could be a high ankle. Has anybody heard anything? Because apparently Neil Brown went out at 1:30. I could not find his press conference. I was trying to watch it. Has anybody heard any news about Garrett Green's injury? How long it might be? Does anybody know? Anybody out there know? Go ahead, Joey. Help me out here in the show, man. Let me know because I tried to find Neil Brown. Big Red said that he was going live at 1:30, or 1 to 1:30. I did not see it anywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, nothing. So that being said, I don't know how Garrett Green is. What I did hear from some inside sources was that it was a possible high ankle sprain. Now, when I go back there, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I go back to the playoffs and Super Bowl last year, Patrick Mahomes had a high ankle sprain. And it looked like he came back within that 2-week time period to play the Super Bowl after the playoff. Now, my son had a high ankle sprain, and he was out for 3 months. It was almost as bad as a break. So I don't know how that falls in. I don't know. We don't have Parsons here, the trainer. Duck, what do you know about that? Anything? High ankle sprain?
Yeah, I hear the same thing you hear, but well, in this day and time, it seems like they come back quicker than we did when we had a high ankle sprain. So look, medicine has kind of taken over. I guess I would expect him to come back at least in 2 or 3 weeks at the worst.
All right, well, here we go. We got Joey. Hey, listen, injury update here at Blue Goat Sports. How about doing me a favor, man, and going ahead and tell me what they said. All right? Joey, let's go, Joey. All right, very good. Thank you for that, though. So everybody can go ahead and look at that injury update. Listen, man, all right, so let's go ahead and start breaking this down, and let's go to the offense. And I've got film that I backed this up. I watched the game over again. I'm not gonna get down on anything. I'm gonna say this is what I saw. I saw the Mountaineers taking care of a situation that was what they're supposed to do. All right, let's just say when I watched the Cincinnati game film. All right, let's go back. Let's kick this back, and you guys can agree or not with me. before I watched Cincinnati Pitt game, I thought Pitt was going to be, because they had all juniors and seniors, I thought they were going to be the same team as last year. Obviously, Slovis wasn't there, but that didn't really bother me. What bothered me was a defense that was usually put high pressure attacks on a quarterback and causing TFLs for losses, and an offensive line that was very experienced and could go ahead and run the ball. And neither one really happened on either side. And so when I watched the Cincinnati game, I'm like, wow, they don't look that good as I thought they would. And then I wasn't surprised by being able to run the ball and then being able to stop the run. Let's go, Frank. Were you surprised by that?
No, because exactly for what you said. There was something about the look of that team. They were there. They had a presence, but it almost felt like they weren't present. And West Virginia was geeked, and just the opposite of what they were the week before to start the Duquesne game. So I wasn't surprised, and I've never been. I followed the quarterback, Jerkovic, from Notre Dame to Boston College, and then on to Pitt. And I've never felt, he's a guy who has an attitude. It's almost an arrogance out there, that things are supposed to fall into place. But one of the things that I've always felt about him is, well, do the kinds of things that cause those things to be in place. He was just not good. He was throwing across his body. That first interception, I think, was Aubrey Burks had it. I mean, my God. As soon as he threw that ball, I said, oh, that's going to be intercepted, and it was. 3 interceptions on the night, so I wasn't surprised.
Well, you know what? That's cool. What about you, Hawkeye? What did you think when you were watching Jerkovic out there, that offensive line? Because they got a tight end that they went to with Gavin, the tight end, and they just never threw to him till late. And I said before going into the game, I thought it could be a battle of tight ends, being that Bartholomew, the Pitt tight end, was as good, or not as good as Cole Taylor. I really thought they each had an advantage. And it looks to me, I said you need to get 10 targets to Cole Taylor for the game. Obviously, that did not happen because they didn't throw the ball barely 10 times. But he did get the most targets and receptions. What did you think there, Hawkeye, of the tight ends there, or the lack of it for the other side?
Well, I think it started with our defense. After that first drive, I think our defense kind of settled in, the big game hype, everything that was going on around it. And our corners were playing up on their receivers. Anytime you're up on those receivers, it's going to affect timing. If you're going to jam those guys and you're getting a little pressure up front, it throws everything offensively. And he didn't have, and even when he had time, it seemed like when he had time to throw the ball, he didn't make good decisions. I mean, 3 interceptions, he didn't look sharp. But I think a lot of it was our secondary, the way they came out and played. I don't think Pitt was anticipating that. If you look at game film, you think back, when's the last time you've seen our DBs coming up to the line of scrimmage like that?
Well, it's what I've been talking about for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been talking about. Challenge them, right?
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. Quit giving them freebies, and then you went ahead and you had a defensive unit. I guess you call it the box unit, but they were putting pressure on the quarterback. So that makes anytime you get pressure on the quarterbacks, why start off with a 4-man pressure or more? Anytime you can do that, it can usually the numbers go with you to help you. That the DBs, because they don't have to cover so long. But let's be honest now, all right? In that same way you're saying about the DBs, there were some bad throws on the ball for those DBs that they got. One was 10 yards over the guy's head. And
that's what I was saying, Dale. When he threw the ball, they were bad decisions.
Well, I don't know if that was a bad decision or just a bad throw. Seriously, no. Great points all. But, well, I guess what I'm saying is that I thought that he really played poor. And I think that the secondary, which 322 yards against Penn State, giving up, I think it was like 280 against Duquesne. All right. It was a game that they needed. They really did need that for confidence. And here's the infectious thing, Duck, and you know about this. What happens when you make a good play, it becomes what? Infectious, right?
Right. Yeah, and the defense, kept giving the ball back to the offense, and I just think the offensive line of West Virginia can impose their will on anybody if they all playing together. Sky's the limit, and it seems like that's what they're starting to do. Excluding the Penn State game, I just think West Virginia, they can run the football if they choose to run the football. I think as far as the passing game, I guess the running game can open up the passing game, which I hope. And like you said, I was hoping they get the ball to that big tight end Taylor. I think he's a pro prospect, man. He's a big guy, man.
Well, he's the guy so far that's been steady in catching the ball. But again, if you check out the film I have, all right, they did a lot of 12 personnel, and I'm going to say Traylon Davis stepped up big, the number 2 tight end, and that 12 package personnel. But Cole Taylor, not only can he catch the ball at 6'7", Lee Javins, he is out there. He's blocking his can off, man, and he's getting in the way, and he's doing everything. I saw everything that he needed to do in that game to be a factor, not just in the passing game, but be a factor overall.
Well, I don't know why. I feel like we're built we've got an experienced O-line, we've got big tight ends, and we have a Hawk for running back. I feel like we're built like some of those old Wisconsin teams. And so why not play to your strength? And I get it. The Big 12, for the most part, I don't even know what it is, but it's a lot of 3-man lines and a lot of passing. But, we've got size, and look, we need to play to our strength all day long. And I don't think that's something the rest of the Big 12 is used to either. And so I think that plays to our advantage.
All right. So, hey, Mickey, I dropped the password. You said you wanted to come on the show, so I'm going to let you. I dropped it on there. But your comment here, RPO is the way to go with Nico. All right, your humble opinion, very good. All right. I'm going to say this. I was yelling the whole game. RPO Nico Marchio. That should be the name. That should be his tagline, right? RPO Marchio, man, because that's what he needs to do because – he's smart enough. He's a freshman, so you gotta be very careful what you do. He's already give him the easy stuff, man. When you see a couple of his throws that he made with them, especially the one when Preston Fox made a great catch. All right, but Nico throws out. It was because it was the one place where he could go to a good choice, a really good choice. The Pitt receivers were pressing on the outside. Preston Fox in the slot just did it out. The DB was 6 yards off. It was a good opportunity. I think he needs more opportunities like that and to go ahead RPO by what the defense gives you. If they got, because now we all know the secret's out of the bag. WVU can run the ball, man. WVU can run. So that means that these guys are really good on defense. I'm talking about these coaches are going to be like, man, we're really going to have to shut that running game down and make Nico beat you. Well, okay, to shut that running game down, you're going to have to fill the box, Lee Javins. Am I right?
I think so. RPO Marchio. I like it.
RPO Marchio. It's the new tag.
I like it.
That's what I do, man, right? But again, is when Mickey's talking about there with the RPO, Duck, what does that do? When you fill up a box on defense and they're saying, okay, Marchio, you're going to have to beat us in the passing game. You're a freshman. Well, what better way than to go RPO?
Oh, yeah. You got a threat of handing it off, running it, or throwing to the wide receiver. You're reading. Most of the time they're reading that the guy in the box, usually it's a hybrid type linebacker or safety, and they're reading him. So it puts a lot of pressure on the defense, especially if the quarterback can run the ball. I haven't seen Marchio really run it. We all know what Garrett could do, Garrett Green, when he's running the RPO. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I will say truthfully is I believe that Nico can do it. I do believe Garrett has more experience in calling out the defense and more, probably more fluid of recognizing it. But Marchio is 231, and he's as fast as anybody. Now, I'm not going to try to go negative here, but I had Drew Fabianich, who is the general manager of WVU now, who is also the director of scouting. He said to me, Wolf, I don't like small football players because they get hurt easier. And when you're putting a team on your back, that's a problem. And again, in that whole decision, you know, I love Garrett Green. I think he's tough as nails. He's a true Mountaineer. All right, let's just say straight up. He's a true Mountaineer. I don't know if he can play his style of play at 185 pounds. You know, Frank, what do you say to that?
You know, I agree, but you got to play with the players you have. And we've been waiting a long time for Nico to get in there. You know, difficult circumstances, certainly. We don't want it to be where it's at the other player's disadvantage. But he went in, and, you know, this guy's a leader. We all know that. And he managed himself well. You got to self-manage before you can lead others. And he did that. He stayed within himself, didn't try to do too much. And we eventually we won the game. So, you know, I agree with what everyone's saying because, you know, the bottom line here is before the season started, we say, hey, we've got a national class offensive line. We've got a great running back in CJ. What about the rest? Well, you look at it now, you know, rushing average against West Virginia, under 100 yards, number 27 in the country at 95 yards a game. Secondary, which we were really worried about, got 3 interceptions. I've been looking at the stats here. Last Saturday, 11 pressures, 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, 4 hurries, and only 7 missed tackles. And last year, you didn't have enough hands and toes to count the number of missed tackles. And you got a surprisingly weak Big 12. I mean, USA Today's had the misery index, and 2 of the 4 teams on the misery index were Big 12 teams, Oklahoma State and Kansas State. So, boy, all of a sudden things are that's why this weekend's game is just huge.
All right, so let's go right to that. Well, first of all, I got to go right to this, and that's going to be to our NIL for commercial here. Give me 30 seconds, boys, to get Abby up here and let her do her thing for Parmar Stores.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Okay, Hawkeye, I just got the news. They're saying that Neil Brown says that Nico's going to be the starter and Garrett Green is day-to-day with his high ankle sprain, which makes a lot of sense, and it sounds to me like that's not just being playing possum by Neil Brown. So what say you, Nico? What's your take on him? Where do you think he's got to go?
Well, I think if they loosen the reins a little bit, I'm curious if the game plan with Garrett Saturday night was going to be what we seen when Nico come in, or if we changed the game plan up a little bit and said, hey, let's go run heavy. I don't know. But if they loosen the reins with Nico and he shows out against Texas Tech, gentlemen, we're going to have a quarterback controversy.
Well, you're calling it. You sound like me calling everything early. I don't know, because I got my old helmet right there, the old crystal ball, and it's telling me. I don't know when I rub it. Sometimes it's a little confused lately. But I will say this: you know, if Nico gets out there and he plays well, it's going to be nice to have 2 quarterbacks that can play. Let me go back and let me just answer you real quickly, and I'll have you guys jump in on this. Lee, you can jump in. And first play was under center with Garrett Green. All right, that was the first play. Second play was him throwing to Cole Taylor on a sprint out. Remember what I've been calling for the last 2 weeks: move the pocket, and then being able to go ahead, move the pocket with Garrett so that he doesn't have to take it back. They did some with the Duquesne, but I felt like they're really going to that. I think the game plan was going to be much different Lee, than what they came up with Nico. I think even Neil said, I took like 6 plays and said Nico could run this. I think Nico can run more. I think that's what Neil Brown was comfortable with Nico.
Here's my takeaway. It's not like either quarterback has been known to shred a defense with their arm. And by the way, when you watch video of Nico when he was in high school, he was the RPO guy. That was his thing. And to me, all things being equal, there's a great quote. The owner of the Steelers, when had a chance to get Chuck Foreman or 32 immaculate reception,
Franco Harris,
and Franco was 20 pounds bigger, and he says, why would I want the smaller running back? But I only bring that up in Nico's case. It's a crude comparison, but he reminds me a little bit of Tebow. I mean, he's big, and so he runs downhill when he runs. He runs down. He's not shifty. He's not a shifty, but he runs downhill. And so if the arms are comparable, I'm not saying that he should replace Garrett Green because I agree with Dale. He's a great Mountaineer, but maybe this is one of those things. Let's see how it unfolds. And I think he's got potential.
Frank, there's no doubt. Okay, let's just say that Neil's been on the hot seat. You heard Pat McAfee on College Game Day just calling him out, kind of unmercifully, that he's on the hot seat, right? And, so you look at this, you go to Red Baker and you say, hey, man, I got this young cat, Nico Marchio, could be special, really special down the road, but we're going to have to take some bumps with him. Does that help Neil Brown out? Or is it because you say the Big 12 may be weaker, maybe it doesn't matter. Like maybe he's got a better path than what people thought.
Well, I think you're right. And you mentioned, my God, probably a month ago that, if Nico gets in there, it's probably not going to be automatic. He's going to have to, we always do this on the job. We know this, learn your way into something. Very rarely just pop in and you're successful. You got to learn your way through it. That's the way I describe it. Brown calls it the process. And I thought in his post-game, well, I don't think I heard it. In the post-game comments, he talked about the process. And he talked about Nico only getting about 25% of the reps leading into this. And so that's part of the process because he's not the starter. So I think, I agree with Hawkeye. We may end up with controversy, but blessing if we do, because that means we have 2 solid guys and we choose between the 2. And yes, you're right. The answer at the end of the day is going to determine to a large extent whether Neil stays or goes.
Right. Now, you got to be careful because you're grandpa. All right. So in this question, so I'm going to go easy on you here. But is there no doubt that if Neil has an easier time and the Big 12 is not as strong as what was projected, even a month ago, and you have a chance to say, work with Nico, and they show progress, the defense starts playing better, Neil's got a pretty good shot to turn things around and make a point for longevity, does he not?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, a lot of pressure is on the coaches because, being a former coach myself, it's very difficult. I think he's got to kind of play to the strength of Nico. I'm like Lee. I saw that kid play a lot of games in Arizona, and the RPOs was his baby, and he threw the ball well. I haven't seen him throw it as well at West Virginia because I guess because he's not playing as much. But like someone said earlier, maybe by loosening the reins, we might see a different kid. And as far as Neil Brown, that's unfortunately that's going to kind of take care of itself. I'd rather for him to be able to relax and worry about the football team more so than his job.
I'm going to say this, and I may be wrong. And Lee, y'all have to answer this one. I think Neil Brown's come to terms with, hey, if I lose my job, I lose my job. I think he has. I think he said, I don't give a hoot anymore. I'm going to go play and coach football the way I'm going to do it. I think he's made that choice. And I could say, I think he's comfortable with it, and I think he's going to let it fly. He's made his decision on his personnel. He's brought in who he's wanted. I have questioned it. There's no doubt. I have questioned his personnel. As I thought some transfer portals, I thought he could have gone in a little different way. But with that being said, this is his team, and I think he's accepted it. And I give him kudos for that. And at the same time, now he's got to live with it because injuries happen, things happen. You don't bring in another quarterback. You only have two. You have one that's not, or I believe on scholarship, but he's just a baby. So I mean, he's not going to come into real play unless Nico gets hurt. All right. So with all that being said, this is his team, but I do think he's comfortable with that, Lee.
Yeah, I'm confident that he's comfortable with it, and he'll let the chips fall where they may. Fortunately, if we finish above bottom in the conference, it's not a disappointment to pick last. But no, I think he's perfectly comfortable, and the team is playing hard for him, which I think is really impressive. They're putting out great effort for him, and that says a lot to me. And then don't forget, Pat White didn't start for Rich Rod either. Who was that kid that was the starter that year? I mean, things happen. Sometimes you find a diamond in the rough. But Pat White, as I recall, was not supposed to be our star quarterback that year. It was Bednarik or
yes,
Bednarik.
Adam Bednarik. And it wasn't until Louisville.
Right.
Louisville, right?
So, but the team, I think Coach Brown, he's a big boy. He owns it. He's had 5 years. You are what your record says you are. And let's see how it goes. And if it turns out for the worst, he's a big boy, and he's fine. But the players love him, obviously, and they're playing hard for him. As long as they're playing hard, it's hard to complain.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Here's the deal, though. And I'm going to go to you, Hawkeye, because I know a little bit, I think, of what you think. And is this just a illusion of when we're looking at Pitt was so bad? Is this an illusion for Neil Brown? Is the rubber hit the road more with Texas Tech or more in the Big 12? Or is this a team that now is go on a diving board and launch off of this in a positive way? I mean, you got things that are going on now. A team can go either way. I said it last year. That Pitt opening game was huge for that Mountaineer mentality. And that was, they lost it, and it was they gave it away, in my opinion. All right, which never feels good going down. But I think if they would have won that game, I think some other games would have turned out differently.
Well, I think you start with the Penn State game, and I that was a good loss to me. We competed. We played physical. I think it was a momentum. I think it gave our players confidence. Hey, we can play with the big boys. Then Duquesne's comes in, and you took care of business. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. Now here comes Pitt. Nobody really knew, is Pitt, are they as bad as they played against Cincinnati? Is Cincinnati a little better? So we know Pitt's bad. They're not a very good team. So we won't be until we get into the Big 12 play and get challenged again. I don't think we'll really know where we are. But I think, as Lee said, I think the boys are playing hard for Neil. I think they have discovered that they can play physical football. They can do some things that maybe they weren't confident in doing it. Dale, I think it's all coming together. Now, until we get challenged, and it could be as early as next week, I got a good feeling right now. I really do. I got a good feeling.
You got good vibrations, right? You're feeling it. Your knees start to bounce a little bit more.
Yes. I'm feeling pretty good about this.
All right, good deal. All right, so again, as I go back and duck, because you watch your grandson every week, you can remember this going back to the end of the season last year. I believe they beat Oklahoma, lost to Kansas State, but then went out and beat Oklahoma State, who was on a 14-game win streak at home. So, meaning that they were 3-7 at the time, and they won those last 2 out of 3 games, and they fought against Kansas State, who was the eventual Big 12 regular season champion. All right, well, they played better against them. So, what say you that this team does not give up, and they must like this guy, Neil Brown.
Yeah, they got a shot. I know one thing, I'm sure everybody on here. I never thought they would be at the bottom of the Big 12. For them to say that they're going to be 14th, that was far fetched to me. I think they got a shot. Texas Tech I don't. There's something about them. Sometimes we play very well against them, and other times it's like that we play like Pitt played against us.
Right.
So I'm just I'm anxious to see this. I think if they can get over the hump this coming week, the sky's the limit.
You know, Pat Mahomes never beat us, Frank. Pat Mahomes at Texas Tech never beat us, and Neil Brown's never beat Texas Tech, his old school that he used to coach at. All right, what's going to go down this week, man? And you see this? It's set up. Nico's at home. All right, the crowd was here. I think the crowd will show up again now. They beat Pitt and having hope. I think that they'll have a home strong stand there. What do you do with Nico, man? How do you make this work for WVU?
Well, what you said before, RPO, makes a lot of sense to me, and he should have more confidence now and to be able to do it. I agree with Doc. Texas Tech, I saw them against Wyoming. It's on the road, I know. You're playing in an unusual environment for them, high elevation. They didn't look good. They played very well against Oregon. But, a lot of positives for WVU, but when you look at Texas Tech, they're going to throw the ball a lot. They're a pass-first team. Their quarterback is a lot like Jurkovic. He's big. He transferred in. I think, personally, for WVU to continue to move up, and I'm gonna quote Mark Rochford here from Blue and Gold Sports. We've got to get higher grades from these guys that are core to the team. Aubrey Burks graded low last week on tackle. He did great on pass defense, but not as well on run defense. CJ, believe it or not, did not grade very well on pass blocking. And Cole Taylor has to do a better job on pass blocking, on run blocking, rather. Those things I think are fundamental. I think if WVU takes care of things, one of the things we have going for us, I was so pleased to see that field goal, no problem at all for WVU. One of the weaknesses of Texas Tech is they have a guy who's not a very good field goal kicker. In fact, I think his name is Garcia, and I think he's something like 4 out of 7 from 40 yards. He's pretty automatic from 30 yards in, but show me a major college kicker who isn't. So if it comes down to a close game, we clearly have a better punting and field goal game with Texas Tech.
All right. Well, let's go with this then, because I'm going to take exception to what Pro Football Focus rated Cole Taylor. I got film showing Cole Taylor ripping apart the Pitt defense. I got film of that at Traylon Davis. They were both pulling, and I got film, so I don't know what they're talking about, but I only can go by what I see on the film, and that film shows that he's been actually blocking and playing well. But I'm not going to argue with you on that point. I'm just going to tell you what I think and what I see.
Sure.
So the bottom line then is Aubrey Burks is how many tackles did they miss? They missed a total of 7 tackles, you said, but he didn't play well in the run game. I mean, again, what are these guys? You got to look at Pro Football Focus and understand they're all right and they're good, but they don't know everything that's going on. They don't understand everything, because how can you really do that when you're not going into the meetings and understanding what they're being asked to do? That's all I'm going to say, because I say the same thing about myself. All right, when I'm grading.
Well, the good thing about Pro Football Focus, and I agree with you, I mean, this is all subjective. They have 2 guys who independently evaluate each player. Then they have an arbiter, a third person, who takes those 2 inputs and then makes a final judgment. But Aubrey Burks, when it came down to tackling, he was in the 20s in terms of his evaluation. So at least 3 guys are saying, there's some concern there. On pass coverage, he's up in the 60s and low 70s. But you're right. It's a matter of different eyeballs looking at it and coming up with different opinions.
Well, that brings up another good point, though, Frank, because right now you had Dante Wright telling us that, and Neil Brown saying that Aubrey Burks is ready to go, just about ready to go in the NFL. He goes as high as he wants to go, and now he's playing in the 60s and 70s. I mean, something's not jiving right there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, I'm saying that's the reality, because on the show here, man, we just tell the truth. of what we know. We don't know some things, and sometimes we don't know. But we always try to strive for the truth, and that's what I've seen. But I'll go back and look at Cole Taylor. I will do that because I think it's that important that we get a true evaluation. So, Lee, what do you think when you go ahead and look at this offense with Nico? We already know about RPO, but how do you think you're going to have to attack besides that with the run? I mean, do you go ahead, you run it down their throats, Texas Tech? Because guess what? They don't run the ball that well. You know why? Because they throw the ball all the dang time, and they're not. And what happens to those run and shoot teams that, or you know what I mean, that go ahead and throw the ball all the time? They're not tough in the run, man. This is your time to really take advantage here. This is a time where if you got Nico, put him in the game and let him run as well. Make him that extra dude in the box that's a real threat.
Well, you just interrupted me. I'm trying to register Nico, RPO Nico, but anyway, I'll take it aside. You and I will register that deal. We'll make a fortune.
RPO,
Marquio. I'm ready. I'm doing the registration right now. We'll make a fortune. No, so it's interesting because it's weird to me. The whole Big 12, it's like you sign some blood oath to say we're going to play this weird air raid offense or some version of it. It's like you have to agree to play that when you join the Big 12 because that's what everyone does. I, for one, but every time the Big 12 plays a bowl game or plays an SEC school who plays more of a traditional pro offense, they usually, they get worn out because the other team, the Alabama, whomever, I'm not comparing it to Alabama, but the team that plays pro style football plays ball control and keeps the ball out of the Texas Techs and what have you. I think we have a wonderful opportunity here. Now, who knows? Maybe we crap the bed because our D-backs get soft again next week and Texas Tech lights us up. But one way to keep those fast receivers off the field is to play ball control. And it works in the bowl games every year when a Big 12 team meets a ball control team. And so why don't we embrace that and play ball control? We have all the parts we need to play ball control. Let's do it.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. So, Doc, let's go with this, man, is that you like to run the ball. You like to shove it down people's throats, running the ball. How does Texas Tech compare in your mind where they don't actually go against a lot of those run-strength teams, and West Virginia's a 12-personnel team right now?
I think they're going to have – I think that what they're going to try to do is crowd the box on West Virginia because I think they understand that West Virginia can run the ball. I think they're going to try to make Nico do a lot more because if they stay back in their 3-5, 3-3-5, 4-3, West Virginia will hurt them running the football and keeping our offense off the field. So I think they're going to try to put the ball in Nico's hand and make him beat them.
No, I think you're exactly right. Hawkeye, what say you?
I say that Duck and Lee, they hit it right on the head. I think that they're going to come into the game saying, hey, let's take the run away from them and force Nico to pass on us, which could play right into our hands. I think if Nico, if they loosen it up a little bit and let him start stretching the field some, we'll be able to run the ball then. Then it'll be pick your poison.
All right. So, Frank, last one for you. What say you on this? And let me ask you this, Frank. Speaking of the tight end, how about this? With Nico being a youngin, with Cole Taylor being 6'7", wouldn't it be nice to really designate some plays with a tight end in this? Because he catches the ball. Number one, he's been the most steadfast in catching. Number two is he's tough to bring down in the secondary because he's a lot bigger than they are.
Well, I agree completely. And, obviously job one is keep the ball away from Texas Tech. They're going to throw. One of the things that team does is they have one of the highest percentages of making it on third and especially fourth down. So I think going to the tight end, I thought we would go to the Taylor more last week. That's the way Cincinnati beat Pitt. But I really think, and I agree with Hawkeye, I don't think the Texas Tech defense is going to doesn't stack up well with an RPO and with the way West Virginia's playing right now. They only have 6 sacks all year long, and only one of their defensive linemen is in the top 5 for tackles, and he's down the list, 4th or 5th. So I really do think that we've got a real chance here, but we've got to distribute the ball, and it's got to be a run first, set up the pass with a lot of RPO. Control the clock, which Texas Tech likes to do. Keep the ball away from them, and do the things we've been talking about, diversify. And I think West Virginia will be in good shape. I still can't believe that the power index is 60% Texas Tech. And last time I looked, the line was minus 4.5, I think, and it was high as 5.5 for Texas Tech. No respect yet for West Virginia. Hey, win this week, then go to TCU, then game's on.
No doubt. And let's not forget now, Texas Tech is one of the fastest running offenses out there, meaning that they're going to try to run a play, probably within 5 seconds of them spotting the ball. All right, when they spot the ball, the officials at Texas Tech, and that hurts the alignment issues, because you got to make sure that you're there, and that's what hurt WVU last year, especially Texas Tech, especially Texas, when they went ahead and they had alignment issues. So hopefully the secondary, they reduce the amount of schemes, and just like WVU played X amount of running plays that they had and kept it simple, that I think that they have to do the same with the defensive secondary. Hey, and that right there, Doug, puts a lot of pressure on your grandson, Sean, and the defensive line.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Anytime somebody's plays fast on offense, but the key to that is, I'm sure they're going to practice their tempo. Maybe the reserves for West Virginia can't do it as quick as Texas Tech does it, but at least they get some practice in. But the most important thing there, they got to communicate. And like you said, my grandson, they got to put pressure on the quarterback. They got to get to him. So you got to play with some type of edge.
All right. Lee Javins, last word.
Play big, play nasty. Keep doing what we're doing. Play big, play nasty, keep the ball away from Texas Tech.
And shove it down their will, man. All right, Frank, last word.
Well, big game. You gotta close it out 3 in a row at home, and then go to TCU. So I see this as a pivot. It's a pivotal game. West Virginia should just do everything we've talked about, right? And get that W.
No doubt. All right, Hawkeye, last word, buddy.
Get Nico in the film room and expand that playbook.
Oh, you might be putting Pandora's box open, man.
Let the boy play.
Let the boy play. All right, and I say let the secondary play as well, right?
Exactly.
All right, fellas. God bless you, man. Thank you. It was great discussion. Let's go Mountaineers. They beat Pitt. They're 2-1. Let's hope they're the real deal and not an illusion of just putting the Panthers down, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody. Thanks.
All righty. And out. Very good, gentlemen. Very good. I do have one more person that will be coming up here in a few minutes. But first, let me go to my QR codes. And this ought to be fun. It's a Monday, so we're going to go ahead and bring on the Reno man, or man named Reno, whatever that means. But here's your QR code. Paul Mini, the last battery. Never buy a AA battery again. You can recharge. And, of course, you got here West Virginia United in purpose. Bold and strength, baby. United we stand. There you go. United Johnny Cantwell right there. And then, of course, here you got Artisan Grange Company, AGC. It's just easier for a hemp dipper. That is right. Artisan Grange. Johnny and Meg, love seeing you guys this weekend, man. That was huge for sure and enjoyed it. All right. What do I got to hide here first? I got to go ahead and QR. I got to hide this. And now let me go ahead and bring on someone here that I really I hate to bring on my show, but I have to because he's the only one I think that I can get by when I need to go talk about numbers and things like that. Hello, a man named Reno.
Hey, Wolf, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I see you haven't fixed that problem yet of longevity. You keep going in and out. So we go out. I know you're going to just jump back in, right?
Yeah, it's going to be just like the West Virginia record, probably.
Oh, come on now. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's go here, a man named Reno. Let's get this ready here. See what you have to say here. My videos. This is for what I have to go ahead. I want you to listen to this. I want you to tell me what you think.
Can't see it.
We knew coming into the game too. Their quarterback, he wasn't that good at at his job or whatever. But
Beanie Bishop, quarterback. All right, he's in the post game and he says, "Hey, you know what?" He goes, "He just wasn't good. We knew that going into the game, so I don't know. We kicked his can. They did. He walked the walk."
I mean, I kind of like the honesty. I don't know if I maybe, I don't know. I love it. I love the honesty on this kid.
Well, he's a 6-year quarterback. He's gone now, so who cares, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I mean, what does that matter, right? If you talk smack at a quarterback that's gone, it is Pitt, right? It is the brawl. They are a 4-letter word. So, I mean, all those things come together and jive. Am I right?
Yeah. Pitt was underwhelming this year. Either that or West Virginia was just really played well. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I kind of can figure it out, but I don't want to say it on your show.
All right. Well, this is where you tell the truth, so keep it clean and tell me.
Well, I just think Pitt was underwhelming. It's terrible. You would think of this backyard brawl, they would have come prepared, and they weren't. I think West Virginia doesn't look as good. I mean, the rest of their schedule, they can go 0-5 in the next 5 games, and this next game is tough. It's not weak.
Why do you say it's tough?
Well, they Texas Tech started off with your panel said it all. I mean, they started off with Wyoming. They should have won that game. They kept it close against Oregon, and Oregon has proven to be pretty good right now. So I don't know. And they had a really easy game last week. So coming to Morgantown, they're going to be ready.
All right. Let's see here. What's next? Well, I'm going to have to jack this up for you because you're blind, right?
I can't see it. This tiny little TV.
Tiny little TV. All right, here we go.
What goes through your head? Are there nerves? What happens immediately?
Yeah, the backup quarterback position is the most interesting and I think challenging positions in all of sports because you prep just like you're the starter all week, every rep, and you may not do anything for 3.5 hours, but that's the job, that's the role I play. And then, in the rare occurrences like tonight, my number was called and.
Woo. His number was called, and he came out, and he played, and he managed the ball. He did fumble inside the red zone of Pitts. That was not good, but he's a freshman. He's trying to feel his oats. He didn't get the reps. You heard Neil Brown say he only got 25% of the reps this past week. As soon as he got in the game, second drive, all right, he's in the game. They had to go ahead and go about 6. I'm just quoting Neil Brown saying 6 plays that they had to go to for him. But you know what? They did it, and they got it done.
You want me to comment on this, Wolf?
No, I want you to just be quiet.
All right. No, listen. That kid's an X factor. There's a couple of players on this team that if they get enough time to throw the ball, run the ball, their offense could be very dangerous. I saw a lot of spark there, Wolf. I don't know. I'm a
Boy, this is why I don't have you on the show.
I know. Hey, I know I joke about this, the not even going 6-6 or playing 500 this year, but they could turn it around with some of these guys. They look tough. I just don't know if the play calling is there and if the strategy's correct for these guys.
Listen to this.
Just getting the ball to the guys who are faster than me and the better athletes, and just letting them get in space and just managing the game. I think that's become one of my skill sets is just getting in there and being consistent. being disciplined. That's one of the pillars of our offense, of our team, is just playing disciplined, clean football. Not too many penalties tonight. And I think similar to the Oklahoma State game, where you just go in there and just manage the game and get out of there with a victory. So I'm happy that we can come out on top.
Sounds like a really smart young man. Like if that was me as a freshman, I'd be like, man, I just kicked this guy's can, and that's all I knew what to do. I went out there, I punched him underneath the jaw strap right there and in there, and I took him and I blocked him, I threw him. Now he's saying all the right stuff, is he not?
He is. And I heard Frank talk about the point spread. It's +6 right now. So the fact that Garrett Green is out and this young man is in, they're not giving any respect for that. They've even pushed the line more.
All right, well, that's straight to the point. I like that.
What was this to Oklahoma State last
year? Not much. Just from the portion of Garrett going down and me going in, that's about it, because obviously this is I've become pretty accustomed to the rivalry here and understand it pretty well, I think, and it means a lot to people around here, and it's such an honor to be able to go out there and win that one for the state of West Virginia, because they came out and supported 4 quarters and had our backs the entire time. So
ooh, hey, there comes a freshman. Ooh, hey, saying all the right things, and West Virginia had his back, and he's got their back, and he likes it here, and they deserve this. I don't know, man. It seems to me like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders, and
well, if he can't be for real, this can't be for real. He's so polished, can't be real.
He can't be real. What is he? Is he a China doll?
I just, if it's real, this could be a big turnaround for WVU.
There's no doubt about it. What I did hear what people were saying about Nico. Did you watch him throw the ball, whether he made the pass or not? Have you ever noticed the cannon that he has? Did you ever notice what a line he throws the ball on, and probably could go a little bit and put a little more air on it sometimes? But he is there. He gets the ball. He's very accurate. He's very, very accurate. I think when his nerves aren't showing. But when he threw that ball to Preston Fox, number 29, it was the out. It was the only pass that would have been a good choice for him to make. And his release time was incredibly fast. This young man has a world of talent. How is that going to jive with how much everybody loves Garrett Green? A lot. Let's be real here. There's a lot of people that back Garrett Green up, and he's the heart and soul. You heard Neil Brown say that's your heart and soul of the team. What kind of conflict could this put on? You have this young gun, this gunslinger, who says the right things, who could be a heartthrob in a lot of ways. And I'm talking about all people, okay? And I'm saying, easy on the pleasure of knowing this is our guy, or another guy who's been there, the heart, but he may not just quite have all that of ability, may not have what it takes eventually to lead WVU to greatness.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Well, I think they should. I think you start the game throwing whoever starts. Did you say that Garrett Green's going to be out?
Nah, it's day to day right now. So, but Nico's going to start. That's what Neil Brown said.
Whoever starts, they got to start throwing immediately. Put some confidence in one of these quarterbacks' hands and go after it. Because if they open that up, that run game looks stronger than I thought it was. This last week, it truly showed. So I don't know. I hope that they come out with some confidence instead of I don't even know what the right word is. Tiptoeing around and starting the game off. You got to just come out and play. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. What did you think about what Frank Fear said about, and he didn't say, he was just quoting Pro Football Focus and saying that Cole Taylor and them was struggling against the blocking run. When I just saw, did not we win the game by running the ball?
Yeah, yes, you win the game by one and run the ball for
I
sure.
mean, but there were big holes. There were like, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch that because I want to watch Cole Taylor because what I saw of him and what I've included in my film today is something pretty good. So I'm really interested to see, and I'll be, I'm always going to tell the truth, brother, of what I see, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You played high-level high school football in 2 different states. You got your feet wet last year, including or looking at last week.
And they getting the
here we go. There we go.
Let me tell you something. The portal now, man, it's free agency.
Yeah.
I feel bad for high school kids because we're only taking like 4 to 5 high school kids this year, and they're getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
The NCAA is going to have to come in and say we got to increase the scholarship for high school kids because why would you take the chance when you already have a plethora of kids that's already been to college, made the adjustment, and you know what's wrong with them or you know what's right with them, and you rather go there instead of risk at a high school kid.
Yeah, 22-year-old versus an 18-year-old is a very big difference.
Very big difference.
Yeah.
And coaches are getting fired in a couple of years, so you're trying to get guys that ready to help you now.
Right.
Instead of, no one's red shirts anymore.
Yeah.
All right, Reno, we're talking about the fundamentals of the game. We're talking about he's going after 4. Frank Fears said this, and I meant to bring Frank in on this. I forgot. But he said, hey, Colorado's last in recruiting for 2024. And I'm like, I said, well, it's because he's going after transfer portals. The whole name of the game is being changed, that he's just going to go after those older guys. He's not going to sit there and wait. When you go ahead and you're throwing, Neil Brown has been threatened with his seat. His $4 million plus a year job has been threatened because he's not putting together a team fast enough. How can Dion be wrong doing what he's doing when they hold you accountable and they'll fire your kid?
You're asking me. I don't know how you can be. That's a really. I didn't think about that, but that's huge.
Why I'm here doing what I'm doing.
Hey, I don't. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, where are these guys going to cut teeth? Where are they going to play?
Well, not only that is like you got to be really special if you're going to go 4 or 5 guys in high school. So the NCAA they've changed the game. Remember why? And then everybody sits there. And I had a group text today, and they're like, "Man, I was really rooting for Colorado State because Dion pisses them off." And I'm like, I wrote back, I said, hey, Colorado State may have won that game if they would have just shut their mouth and gone and played them and kept it amongst themselves. Don Dalen always said, man, this team's going to beat us. They're tough. They're giants. Even though he knew we were going to win, he would never piss them off. Never piss them off. And, there's something to be said about that. I don't know if you have to live by that rule all the time now because you want to have your swag and, you got to have some swag to you. But at the same time, you don't have to go sit there and say, when I talk to grown-ups, my mom taught me better. You're going to say Dion's mom didn't teach him well? I mean, you're going after that. And all these kids, a lot of them, they think Dion's their dad.
Well,
so you go after my pops, just shut your dang mouth and go play the game. Right there. What do you think to that?
I think it definitely got them hyped up, Wolf. It definitely got them all excited.
Well, I mean, again, they may have just been like, if they would have just kept quiet, they may have not won that double overtime. Because you might have just been like, but no, they were upset too. And now I know it inspired Colorado State did a great job, but don't hate Dion for the game. Blame the game. Blame the NCAA. They made the rules. And the schools fires the coaches after a couple of years. All right. Dion didn't create this game. That's what I'm trying to tell people is you think you can sit there and say, oh, he's all flash. No, he's got real substance to him. He was one of the greatest guys that watch film. He was one of the last guys to leave. He was a guy that would go ahead and battle. And he hired a coaching staff right now to do that for him, regardless if he's there or not. All right? Regardless of whether he's there or not. He hired a coaching staff. They're legit. They're real. But why hate on Dion? You know what? He says exactly the same thing Barrett Bryant says, but he says it with jive and swag and all that. All the contemporary talk nowadays. But he's saying the same thing Barrett Bryant did 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yes.
He's old school is old school, man. He's all about the work. You earn everything. Why hate on this guy?
Yeah, well, the one thing is everybody's watching, and so that's a win on his book right now. Not only the win,
Colorado's already won. They're already in the Big 12.
I gotta go, Wolf. I'll talk to you soon, bud.
You gotta go.
I gotta go.
Get out of here. All righty. There he goes. Why hate on Deion? He did not develop this game. He just came and said, well, listen, if you're going to make me win before you fire me, I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's the NCAA. It's the college people that fire you. It's the fans. You don't win soon enough, you're gone. You're going to hate on Deion for what? For taking care of his people? For being flash? I mean, come on, man. He's as old school when it comes to that. Sure, he buys sunglasses. That's his thing, man. So what? So he's got the swag. So he's got the theme song. Love the theme. Give me my theme music, man. I love that. I love the fact that his players all love him. His players, and you want to know if a coach is a good coach? See if his players love him, because no one knows the man's character better than his players. And if that Neil Brown is what I told Duck Riley about that, I said, hey, listen, man, that says a lot that this team at 3-6 was fighting. Says a lot. All right, that is incredible. That's incredible that he went out there and they won those games. That tells me a lot about Neil Brown and how those kids feel about him and the character that he has. So regardless, I don't care what you say about whether he's a good coach, bad coach, or he stinks at his offensive play calling, or this is bad or that is bad. The kids like him, and like him a lot. The ones that are there now, maybe not the ones that were there before, but the ones that are there now, because they fight and they play hard for him, just like they did against Pitt. And he was right. It wasn't pretty, but they won. They won. And so regardless, with Deion, why hate on Deion? That's what I wanted to get at. Now, let me ask you this, all right? Does the rubber hit the road with Deion? Does the rubber hit the road? And what I'm saying is this is Oregon, all right? So Deion's had 3 games. They've won 3. Tough to get up big. You beat TCU, big deal for a 1-11 team in Colorado. Come back, beat Nebraska the next week, and then hang on for a double overtime win against Colorado State. Is the tank going to go empty here against an Oregon team that probably is superior in talent? And, well, the key says for that, what did you say? Reno stands being fired. He's on a hot seat all the time. That's right. Hey, you know what? Reno, for breaking up, he's just been fired again. That's why you rarely see him. All right, because they continue to go ahead and have to fire him. All right, and so here we go. Timothy Green, what do you got to say? Joey and JJ, I think Nico will really do well, being that he will have more time with the starters this week. Well, that could only help, Timothy. That could only help, that's for sure. What do we got here? Got to get you next week. All right, yeah, all right, very good. All right, let's get to the film. Let's get rid of this stuff here, and let's break down some of that film. And we'll see what we got. See what we have here. Let's open it up. And let's hide that and go right here. Takes me a minute, people. Takes me a minute. As I get going here, I get all fired up, and I forget how to do logistics, right? There we go. That's right. There you go. All my studio people. Let's take a look here. We're starting out here with this here. You got Garrett Green, it looks like. And here, boy, 4 defensive linemen. You got 3 backers really in the box. You got the tight end here in a 1-by-1 hip pocket. You got Gunn weak because you got strength. Maybe he'll go in motion here. Let's see what happens. Oh, he doesn't go in motion, but what happens is he comes right off. And you see it, man. They're pulling right now. They're pulling. And it's a first down. Look at this. It's 3rd and 3. I put this in here. Again, this is Cole Taylor here. He's coming around on the blocking. All right, let's see. Look at the left tackle is blocking down. You see it right here. Cole Taylor's coming out, and he picks up the backer. 3rd and 3, yeah. That looks like a nice job right there. Very nice. How about this over here? What are we doing here? We're in the block here. Nico is now in. And tomorrow I'm going to go over and I'm going to feature on Nico of what I think is good and bad for film-wise. But let's just take a look at some of the highlights right here. And I really enjoyed watching the running. I enjoyed the offensive line. Everyone watch this. You can see big left tackle, big Wyatt Milam is coming down. And you can see, again, look at Cole Taylor slide right in there again for a big run. Let's check it out once again. We'll slow it down a little bit. And you can see here, offensive line. What do I see? I see Thomas Remock getting man-on-man. I see Zach Frazier getting man-on-man. I see Brandon Yates getting man-on-man, right? Okay, so who's coming up there? You see, once again, Wyatt Milam. You see Cole Taylor come around. And not the greatest block in the world, but boy, he gets by him. Gets the slip. There we go. Look at this. Another action here. All this is just a run right. Look at this. Wow. Look at, there's no right side of the defense right here. There's no right side. Look at that. Wow, man. This is a beatdown. Is this really a great Pitt football team right here? Is this really it? Oh, Nico, I don't like that, man. Going down for the sack right there. That was tough right there. Tough spot. You see it. He's coming back. They pull out. And you can see it. Now, you got to find it or you got to get rid of it or now you got to get in the pocket. But that's beyond. That's like 4 seconds right there. Once you do that, you know pressure is going to be breaking down. So that's what you got to learn. Here we go. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. You got it. Yeah, that's 5. 1006. You got to get rid of the ball. He'll learn that. That's just part of playing, but he had some good time there. Obviously, receivers, you got to get open, or Nico, if you didn't see him, you got to go ahead and execute that. All right, big step. This is your week, man. Texas Tech, right? A great opportunity. Watch here. Again, what they're doing is you got Cole Taylor pulling out in front, and you see him right there blocking out there along with Preston Fox. I see Wyatt Milam. Now watch this. We got blocking right here. Who is that? Is that Jeremiah Aaron? He's taking up that Pitt defender. That's downfield blocking. That's huge. You don't know. That might extend 5 more yards, 10 more yards. It might be a touchdown for the CJ Donaldson right there. Big job. Oh, that's Jalen Anderson. All right. Again, you see here Cole Taylor going in motion. Let's look at the combo blocks. Right. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. We're going to show you the end zone shot of this. Great job, Wyatt Milam. All right. Right here. Great job blocking here. Preston Fox. Cole Taylor comes up, cleans it off. So you got the natural alleyway there because you're going to see the Pitt player. I told you, it's 1st and 10. They're running past stunts against a running situation. Why do you do that now? Because all these defensive coordinators, they make up their own terminology because they can either get a penetration if they hit it big, all right, they get you a tackle for loss, but then again, they give up these 5 or more. I've been saying it all along. Watch it. Watch the defender here coming down. 92 is going to try to go. He doesn't cover that. He's sealed off. That's the guard right there, sealing him off. He's got no chance. Watch Wyatt Milam take the outside contain. There's a huge hole in the gap. Huge hole. Nobody's there. It's done. Cole Taylor comes through to clean up. And that's a great call play. And again, that's a lousy defensive call. What happens if that player was there in that gap and not moving around in the 1st and 10? That's a passing stunt. I'm telling you, that's what I see all the time. And it's not just West Virginia. It's not just Pitt. It's everywhere. And you know where it's not? It's not Iowa, Hawkeye football. They could run a defense that's still Kirk Ferentz type of old school defense. Okay, to watch this. Do you see that right there? Do you see the Pitt player? Look at that hole. Look at the hole. Go ahead. Invite you. Go ahead. Right in there. Anyone could run in there. Good job. Great job, WVU. Bad job, Pitt. Bad job, Pat Narduzzi, right? Come on, Pat. You're an old school dude. And you can see here, watch this defender. That is showing you right there, the announcer. Look at that. And it's a combo block, and it's over, man. It's done. 1st down. Tell you, I show you the truth, man. I show you the truth. All right, again, well, I changed, I guess, 2nd and 8. You see this? Look at the receivers on the outside are being challenged. What you have up here, now this might be something here where you're going to see a little bit RPO time. All right, let's hope that a guy say, Nico, now this is a good play. This is a touchdown to the tight end, Cole Taylor. I said it. Go with Cole Taylor, right? Go to the tight end 10 times. I said, get him 10 targets, right? Because what happens when you get 10 targets? You might catch 7 or 8 of them, and he's a player of substance that can go ahead and make it difficult for a secondary, not only defend the pass, but then for what? Yards after catch, right? So, again, we're going to go ahead. He's going to go in motion. Now, this is nothing more than the same play, but now it's what it is. Oh, that's the one I screwed up. That's the one where Nico fumbles, right? Poor exchange here. We'll just let it go through. He's a freshman. All right, there's your shot, Nico. Don't do it anymore. All right, you had the opportunity right there. You learned your lesson. All right, it's the red zone. Loss of points right there. That's a big, big deal. Big deal, but you won. So learn your lesson, move on, forget about it, and let's not do it anymore. That's just the way football is right there. All right, learn your lesson, and that's the key to it. But here, I would point something else out. I also pointed something else out. You see all the blue helmets here? Not one of them pointed that was their ball. First thing we were always taught is you always point at your ball no matter what. No matter what, always point. So all the CJ pointed, even if you're wrong, it doesn't matter. The refs are going to call it the way they see it, but you try to influence. Try to influence. I'm telling you, it's old school, but it's the truth. All right, I'll let up on that one. Again, now you're watching Taylor here. Traylon Davis and Cole Taylor. I want you to see this right here because it is really, really impressive. Look at Traylon Davis. TD, man. Comes around. That's called a pancake. Right? There we go. We'll watch that again in slow-mo. You see him coming over 81. What he's going to do, he's going to take the end. You're going to see what's going down. The left tackle, Wyatt Milam's going down. So what defensive end? That means that something's usually coming back at you unless it's a quarterback read where the quarterback's going to be the one that's taking you up your number up. But this is not. This is lineman going down, lineman coming at you, right? There you go. Watch this. Oh, it's a jag, man. He jacks him. And there comes Cole Taylor up. Look at Cole Taylor. Now watch C.J. Downs. Big hole. And who's that? Is that Clement out there blocking downfield, right? So you got wide receiver. You got tight ends. And you got offensive line blocking. No wonder why. Look at that. Oh, I'll take that 8 yards right there. Look at the arrow here. Traylon Davis. Yeah, you like that? I put that in for him. There you go. He's coming. Oh, rock your world, 6. Rock your world. Good job, everybody. Good job, everybody. I guess we're going to show this end zone here. It just looks pretty. Look at the holes. I mean, C.J. Donaldson said, hey, I love running behind my offensive lines. Well, you better include your tight ends and your wide receivers because they all did the job for you, big guy, and you did a great job yourself. All right? So here you go. Again, here comes TD. He's coming in. Now look at the motion from here. That's actually really cool. He comes from the outside, coming in. And so he starts outside the box, comes in the box. He leads it. And then you can see right here, again, is big holes. Again, that's all tight end derived right here. Okay, here comes TD. Is he got a hook? He hooks the defender right there. You see that? There comes Cole Taylor right here. Okay, right around off the butt. There he goes. He pushes his guy out of the way. That's fine. That's a plus. That's a plus. Look at that. Gets all the way down to the 2 or 3 yard line. This is a plus. No way, man. Taking your guy. He's running out. He's going to run outside. That's up to him. But you're there, and the alleyway is there. Good job, CJ. Running hard, man. Running tough right there. Oh, look at that. I love it. It's misdirection. It's pulling there. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, good play calling here. This really, really was the play that hurt Pitt. Really, really. Oh, now watch Wyatt Milam here. You see 74 right there? Yeah, this guy here, this is why he's going to be playing on Sundays. Watch his footwork. Watch his footwork. Oh, do you see the change? Watch the change. Oh, look at the change. It's a run. He's there coming out, and he changes up, and he continues. Watch the push forward. Yeah, man, that is legit. Oh, I got so excited. I knocked it down. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. We love it. We love it. Okay. Wyatt Mila, man. That was huge, huge. That's why you're going to be playing on Sundays. Again, you got what? You got Cole Taylor scoring a touchdown. You can't bring him down with just usually a safety. It's going to take 2 or 3 more. All right, Nico finally gets, I think he gets his first touchdown pass, making an easy one like that, gets him in the game. Hopefully that's going to help him and his confidence. And you know why that worked? Because how many times you watch those tight ends? I just showed it to you. How many times you watch those tight ends go in motion? How many times? Huge, huge, huge. All right? And that sets it up. It's play, action, pass. That's what it is. And that's how you set up a defense, because you run it down their throats, and then they see it coming again. And what do they think? They think, oh, no, I got to go outside. But the defense guy thought he had to squeeze down because what? He just got knocked out his can by TD the last couple of plays. So what's he going to do? He's going to squeeze down now. He learned his lesson, right? Oh, and they go outside of him. It's perfect chess. It's chess, man. That's what it is. It's X's and O's on the grease board, but now they're breathing. They're living and breathing, right? That's cool stuff, man. That is some cool action stuff, right? What do we got here? Oh, this is what I want to show you. Okay. Everywhere here is tight coverage here for Nico, right? This is a pass. I'm thinking to myself, is this RPO? All right. This might be RPO because you got a lineman coming downfield. Now, what he does here is he takes the easy route. Let's take a look. Right, you're not going to take this one usually unless you're going to do like a deep ball, do a fade, something like that. You got the same thing here. So where's the spot that looks like he could have a chance right here? Well, I'm seeing it right there. All right, so it's a visual. Let's see. Are they coming off the ball? Yep, that's RPO all the way. Look at Milam right here. He's downfield. That's RPO. That's not play action pass. RPO. He's making a shot. Marchio, RPO. Marchio, RPO. There you go. And it's gonna be good. And there you go, success. Watch him throw the ball. I think I got one more time here. Watch his windup. Watch him whip it. Watch the accuracy here at an what is that? That has got to be at least 10 to 12 yards downfield, right? So he's throwing the ball right here from basically the 20-yard line or 21. All right. Look at the whip. He just whips it. It's an easy throw all the way to the boundary and accurate. Look, that's like, wow, that's a 19-yard throw right there to the sidelines. Watch it here. But again, RPO, man, he takes the easy shot. That's what you got to do against Texas Tech to be successful. You got to fight it. You got to be able to think and be clear-minded. And that's, to me, shows me a good side. Great catch by Preston Fox, local boy, Morgantown, right? And hey, how about this 42-yard field goal? Nails it, right? Nails, man. There you go. Right on. Special teams. Oh, hey, Neil Brown's always preached special teams. How about this with Strawman, right? You know, he's done it. He's been doing this since he's gotten here, and maybe not with the way defending like this coming out of the end zone, but that's pretty darn good, isn't it? Oh, man, rough it. All right, there you go. Good job. Reestablish his feet in the playing field before he touches the ball. Yeah, that's what you need. You need to be able to pin him down right there, just like they did. All right, let's look at this defense here now. Coming out, you know, this is like all the times that he was running the ball because they put in pressure. This offensive line pass pro was not good. I showed you the Cincinnati. I showed you the offensive line was struggling in the game breakdown. I put it on film. I put it up there, and the Mountaineers proved me right on defensively, and they just brought it all the way to him. Bad choices, as Hawkeye said. Bad vision, bad throw. Aubrey Burks looking good right there in return. He's fired up. You gotta like it. Again, I like the fact that they're rolling out, making it just one half of the field, trying to help the guy out. But that's really good coverage. That's good anticipation. Can't take anything away. Just a lousy decision there. 8 of 20, 10 of 32 versus Cincinnati. Something's not clicking for that 6-year guy. He looks kind of awkward anyways when he's running, although they do use him every once in a while. He pulls the ball, and they're just not ready for him. I had to show that on the film, too. I actually showed you that on my breakdown saying you got to be ready for this because he will actually, if you don't honor the read zone, he will go ahead and hit you with it, hurt you. All right, we're moving on here. What's the next play? Let's hope it's good. I want to show that. He's all fired up. Well, I guess we're going to keep watching. All right, let's move on here. Yep. There you go. Now, we talk about a lousy throw. Now, they're going cover 3 here. They actually showed cover 4, quarter, and moved to cover 3. I don't understand why he was so far up. This is a guy that's played a lot of football in college. And, he planted his feet there, but not only is he throwing into double coverage, it's almost like triple coverage, but it's not even close to the receiver. And when you see the end zone shot, you're going to see that the wide receiver was open. I don't think that they're on the same page. I don't think that the offensive line is playing well. I really don't. You can see here that I showed you Cincinnati blow through this offensive line. Good job. Way to get the interception. Be careful what you say post game about the opposing quarterback. You never know when that could come back and haunt you. But here you go. Watch it here. You can see 6 is wide open, and he's just going deep, making a bad decision, and trouble. Throwing the ball way over. Maybe he threw the ball deep. Whatever. Anyways, play works out for WVU. Good job, Beatty. Way to get the interception, and bad job, Jerkovich. Again, here's some defense run. I had to put this in because I saw it. I was like, you know what? I said this. You go right for the read zone. This is good for the young Buckster right there. And got to honor it. Even though he's big, he's Langley, you can take that right there. Sure, you can on a drive. If you're going to sit there and have number 6 was hurting you, you could go ahead and do that. But, again, is young man, he's going to learn a lesson. You got to honor the read zone. Again, right there, this is that first drive that they're going. I did want to show you again, what is that same thing? You got to have someone. If he's your C gap player, then you got to be quicker to this, right? Because if you're going to cover A, B, he's going to have D for outside contain, then you got to have the C guy here. You better be quicker for that. If that's the scheme, then that's the scheme. But, and Lee Cobra's pretty fast and quick. So strange if that's the way they're calling it, because that's tough. That is not easy. Again, you can see right there, I have no idea what the read would be, that he would step right instead of stepping left, because I don't see the offensive line giving those reads, and I don't see it. So let's keep it going here. A couple more things. Again, tomorrow, I really want to go through most of the game here. This is just the highlights of it, but I'd like to show you Nico here, see what he's got to do to really, really let's break him down and see what we can get. Not a lot of material, but we should be able to get something. Okay, you see the defense here. Again, I'll show you some more defensive stuff too. I want to show the interior because they did play strong, and this is just the first drive of the highlights. And so I want to cover that as well. Okay, so I think that'll be it. That's all I really want to show you because, let me see, like I showed you the interceptions, then I showed you that. Yeah, we don't got to go into that. A couple plays. He's 8 for 20. What the heck? What are you thinking about? I'm talking to myself. 8 for 20. You know what? Lousy game. Oh, I like the sack right here. That's good. That's good. Put pressure. Hey, he's just a young in there. He came up here from Texas, Abilene or whatever it was, Abilene Christian. And so that's nice. That right tackle, I told you about 78 at his feet were slow. And so the Mountaineers good on them. They recognized it. Good job. That's it. That's all I'm going to show you here. What do we got to say here? Let's see. Here's what we disagree, Wolf. All right. There we go. Here's where we disagree, Wolf. He should have been under center in the red zone, take care of the football. He said the man in motion either distracted it or it hit him. Piss poor play call in the red zone. All right. That's what you have to say, David. Should it be under center? I mean, am I going to disagree with that? I don't think so. I don't think we disagree. I'm saying is that's your opportunity to screw up. Now you learned your lesson, right? That's what I'm saying is that Nico that is your opportunity. Red zone, I mean, come on, there's lots of red zone where there's shotguns. So whether that he's got to be able to focus on that. That's not acceptable by any quarterback at any age level at any time. So, but as freshmen, you do get other opportunities so that when you make mistakes, you get another opportunity as freshman because that's what you do. Now, if you get to be like doing that in your junior, senior year or sophomore even, right, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, but I think Nichols is smart enough. So I don't think we disagree at all. And if he's going to say you want him under center, I'm okay with that. Heck, I'd want to get him under center anyways a lot more just because I like the game under center. I like going back and forth. I like using gun. You know the difference between gun, which is the running back to the side of the quarterback. How about pistol? I like the pistol where the running back is behind the quarterback. And I like under center. I think if you could really develop all three of those, I think you're really working with some good stuff there. So I don't think, David, that we disagree on that at all, but I understand what you're saying. And so I'll leave it at that. And you can come back and if you have something else you want to say, or I dropped the link on here. So if you want to come on and talk about it, anyone, please feel free. All right. So that's your opportunity. And it's my opportunity to go ahead and sum this weekend up. All right. Well, I hope that you understand that this was a great victory by our Mountaineers. National TV, the stadium, and the crowd looked outstanding. Okay. The perception was all is good in Mountaineer Nation because you beat Pitt, biggest rival that Mountaineers have, biggest rival, one of the best rivalries I think I'm back now, so I guess we'll keep it going here. Wi-Fi just went kicked and went crazy here in the studio. Yeah, in the Wolf's Den. Anyways, I'm going to just sum this up for everybody if it's back on or not. And hopefully the stream kept going for you. Hopefully it's still there. That was weird. All right. So here we go. Nico Marchio. Let's see it. RPO, Marchio. Let's get it done, right? I am convinced that he can do the job if given the great opportunity to do the job. And the meaning is that if you let him go ahead and control the game, if you let him make decisions, I think he can make the right ones. You got to be careful. You can't give him full control, like even to Garrett Green, who has a lot more game experience in college football. So go ahead, take it with Nico, give him the control that he needs. And if you can go ahead and just let him use some of his athletic ability, use some of that throwing ability, use some of that mental ability that he has, some of that running ability, 231, 6'1 and a half, 231 pounds, and also this. Let him use that innate ability. You know, he is 2-0 as not a starter. Second half of Oklahoma State game, he had the majority of the reps. They were down 10-7 when he came in. They beat Oklahoma State, and now he's beaten Pitt. So he's beaten Oklahoma State and Pitt. Not too bad names for just a youngin', right? So let's give Nico that opportunity. Let's give him that opportunity to go ahead and see what Garrett Green is. If Garrett Green gets healthy and gets better, hey, maybe you got two quarterbacks that you can use. Maybe it goes back to Garrett. I don't know. I'm not making that call. Right now, the Mountaineers are 2-1. All right. Is Pitt bad? Yes, Pitt is bad in all areas of the game, to be quite honest with you. Yes, they lost to Cincinnati, who lost to Miami of Ohio. Yeah, there's a correlation there somewhere, all right? But Texas Tech, all right, it's still at home game. It's another emotional game. It's something that'll be Nico's, it will be his first start. So let's see. He's 2-0 in the games that he got to play the majority of the reps. He's 2-0. Oklahoma State, Pitt. Let's make it 3-0 for Marchio. Get it? 3-0, Marchio, RPO. All right? Oh, I'm good. All right, guys. That's it for today. And I just want to tell you how much I enjoyed getting lost in the game and just caught up. Maybe not lost. Caught up in the game is a better word. I got to really enjoy it, being at the stadium there and not having to do any chores, not having to do any job responsibilities. It was so cool to watch it. Kudos to the fans. You stayed the entire time. You rocked Mountaineer Field just like the old days. It was loud. It was proud. It was rocking for these young Mountaineers now. And I just want to say is thank you for doing that, because it brought back not only the special moments I had watching this game, but also the special moments I've had in my time and the joy that it always brought me back to Mountaineer Field. That's right. And with that being said, tomorrow, got another big Tuesday. Got to listen to some Neil Brown press conference from today. I haven't had an opportunity to watch it yet. I'd like to hear what he has to say about the game, about Pitt, and then getting ready for Texas Tech as well. We're going to have some great guests on this week. Loved it today. We had Duck Riley on. You had Lee Javins. You had Frank Fear. And you had Keith Hawkins, Hawkeye, and great show. Then we had a man named Reno. So with all that being said, man, it's all good. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get this up here. Right? Closing commercials. Oh, no, we forgot the network. Well, we'll do the network tomorrow, but we'll go ahead and make sure that we get all this out. Let's see. There you go. Timothy Green. Yep. You stayed with me, buddy. Let's go, Mountaineers. Beat Texas Tech.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont in when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar.
Yeah. We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball.
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock.
Call Mini, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy, stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.